available on choice.
Yeah.
You got close to high school.
This is our spotlight.
And that's not what I want.
And then if you just
Right, so what I want to do is I want to get people
just do it that way. That's right. Yeah.
to stop thinking that
Yes,
Coronado
let me
is
know where
better
you
than
need me
Mitchell.
here.
The experiences
Hello,
that can
Alyssa.
happen in Mitchell are better than the experiences that we have in
Hello.
We have to re-communicate.
Where would you like to sit? There's
in
cords,
a way
careful.
that doesn't make gas prices.
You are at the very head.
Yes, but gas prices are going up.
No, I'm
Sharon,
wrong.
good to see you. Have you been looking up at the stars every day now since the planetarium visit?
No, I've just been posting on Facebook about it, and the Marauders
We had to do something right along the way. There's a right.
That'll be a good segue for things we want to talk about.
I'm gonna sit here, is that okay?
Yes. I'm honored.
Nice to see you. It's Michael. Nice to see you. I don't know if you recognize my voice.
I'm just glad to be a little around.
Matthew is doing incredible work.
Hey,
A savior to this community.
That's a win. That is a win.
I'll take hard work every day as the number one attribute. I call that sweat equity.
tired, all right.
Trying to get the online
So glad
folks.
I'm not working in the States.
I am struggling.
Struggling? Yes, yes.
I'm so tired. Say hi to Alyssa.
I'm so tired of sitting in the front.
Stranger, where have you been?
New York.
Why? Why?
How did everybody
Family. Family.
But I haven't been back to New York in 15 years.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, okay.
You know what?
I went home.
Yeah, let me, I'm gonna have to do a control P, but we're about to
I was
What
give me
happened?
just a second. Oh, really?
Have you litigated? Okay. Oh, wow.
But my family all donated.
Oh,
She from me.
that's crazy.
Right there.
I'm sorry.
Actually, I followed George's lead. I saw him come out front. He was like, okay, you guys want me to get a point there.
What? What?
Sometimes you get your best work done from the back.
Because I kept,
No, I think we're okay right now, and we have Matthew here, so we should be good.
All right, folks, I'm going to ask you to please finish gathering what you need and find a spot. I'd like to get started in about 15 seconds to honor everybody's time and our really full agenda. So help yourselves to whatever is over on the side. Usually we have some drinks and maybe some refreshments. And if you need paper or pen, anything else, a chair, get cozy, find a friend. Thank you everyone for coming this evening. I'm Alyssa Webb, one of the co-chairs for the Mitchell SAC. Mr. Bibbs, raise your hand. He is my co-chair. Thank you. I have on our, did everybody get an agenda? We have them available.
On
the tables. Yep, they are out and available, so if you need one, help yourself or let us know. I have on the agenda welcome and intros. It seems like to me, without being able to see you all, that we have a good number of folks this evening. So I may not introduce each one of you, but I want to express our appreciation for your participation and attendance this evening. This is George Smith.
Yes.
If any of you don't know, the Mitchell main principal. Mr. Blanc was in the room somewhere.
Yes, I'm still here.
His assistant principal. Mr. Short is here, our athletics / administrator from the high school. So, and Mr. Bibbs, I apologize. I totally just stole all your thunder because I had your name on that agenda item, didn't I?
You're doing well.
I apologize.
Yes, you're good.
So with that said, we're going to dive into agenda item number 2. Mr. Bibbs, would you like to take that and run with it and let Mr. Smith?
Oh, Mrs. Smith. Okay. Well, I'm gonna transition to our student spotlight. And so do we have Bella and Coach here?
Coach is on his way. He's at the track and field
facility, but he is on his way, but I can get us started.
Is Bella?
Bella was,
We can push it a little bit down until they arrive, because we
Okay,
want to make sure the
sure.
coach and the player is here. Okay, so do we want to move it to something,
Sure.
another part? Okay.
So let me explain, first of all, and Mr. Bibbs, would you explain what the student spotlight is first, and so folks know what they're waiting for?
Our student spotlight is basically just highlighting the students as far as what they're doing in the school, what we're doing in our community, to brighten them and let them know that we appreciate them, that we want the community to know that what they're doing and that we appreciate them.
Yeah. And go ahead with number 3.
Okay, number 3. Okay, where we at? Number 3, culture design ship distributed.
Is this public comment?
No, it should be public comment.
Yeah, public comment.
Okay. Are there any public comments?
To the SAC, about the SAC, questions? No needs for
What-
Mitchell?
Is this where I would ask a question about something?
Let's save that question for a little bit later.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, but Sharon, you're up next actually with approval of January minutes. We were unable, our February SAC meeting was replaced by a district preference, so we didn't have a February meeting. So we need to approve the January minutes.
So Reverend Bibbs approved those January minutes via email.
Okay, I guess I did as well. They went out. So the minutes did go out and we did look at them. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, we're moving into old business, which we'd like to revisit or just hear about the highlights from the 8th grade Discovery Day. So Ms. Standard or Ms. Jordan, if either or both of you are here,
Ms. Stander or Ms. Jordan are not present tonight.
okay? Would you like to give that?
So I'm prepared to speak about 8th grade orientation, but it bleeds into part of the investment that the district and myself at the site level has invested in terms of improvements to the building. And so I wanted to piggyback this slide off of Bella. Bella Wilkinson is our student spotlight. Hopefully she'll be able to attend with Coach Melvin, and then want to highlight Sam Short, our new athletic director. But I did want to segue from that student spotlight to this slide. This slide has been used at the state pathway plan hearing last spring, where it very well depicts the investment that the district has put into Mitchell High School. Those are very large projects to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you were here for the planetarium ribbon cutting just the other day, that is more money than I can allocate at the site level. At the site level, though, to piggyback off of those major capital improvements, the room that you are sitting in tonight, the staff lounge, various classroom spaces, a lot of other spaces that we are able to invest in at the site level. It is making a nice package and presentation for community who are currently in our boundaries and who are also hopefully pursuing enrollment here at Mitchell High School moving forward, who are outside of our boundaries, that we are demonstrating that investment. In other words, we're putting our money where our mouth is. And so when we look at that, my next slide talks about the current enrollment picture, which I pulled this data today. We're at 589, and this shows a 5-year trend from 2021 when I first became principal, and I apologize too. I'm losing my voice, so I'm doing my best to project, but it's a bit of a struggle, which I generally don't have any issues projecting my voice. But we are declining enrollment, though you will see a gradual uptick this year. You're not going to be able to read that number, but that was in the 550s last year, 550s, and this year, as of today, 589. So we've actually increased students from last year, but it's not the amount of growth that we are hoping to see over the next couple of years.
Can I pause you right there?
Please.
This is a lot of what's in the new business area. Can we finish old business?
Well, I will just say that I think because of the misalignment in communication in preparation for this meeting, I think that the agendas might be different actually. So I just have to call that out. So I'll just finish, and then I really don't have anything else to add.
Yeah.
if you
Why don't we just let our student, now that she's here, and we'll
Okay.
jump in there
Yeah,
and
let's
take a
do that.
celebration for a
Perfect.
second.
So I will rewind, student spotlight. You can see up on the screen, Bella Wilkinson played on our team. She's a phenomenal junior student here at Mitchell High School, girls basketball player. Our slogan this year, we have adopted the WIN slogan. We increase numbers by believing in our students. Bella, I'm going to speak about her as a student first because we encourage all of our athletes to be students first, student athletes. That is a token terminology or tag for student athletes across the country, but what Mr. Short, our coaches, Mr. Melvin is here, our ladies basketball coach, and Bella, what she represents in terms of student athlete is growth, perseverance, which is another one of our accept core values, courage. I could go on. I love her and her sister so much, but this young lady, when we talk about bag data and on track for graduation, bag data, if you don't know, stands for behavior, attendance, and grades. And Bella, I don't want to embarrass you, but it's because I'm proud of you. She struggled with some behavior when I was early on in my principalship. This young lady has very few, and the few behaviors that she has, they're just little ticks on the radar. She has grown so much as a person that way, right? That's number one. Number two, her attendance rate is improving. We got to figure out something because if you look at her attendance rate in Power School, it doesn't represent she's on campus every day, but because she leaves campus for events, it kind of dings kids, so we got to figure that out. But her attendance has improved over the course of the years. And then finally, she carries a weighted 3.6. And she couldn't say that a couple years ago. And so she's an example of perseverance and the grit that Mitchell Marauders embody here. And I'm just so proud of her. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Short to talk more about the athletic piece, and then Coach, and then Bella, you get to tell us adults what's up.
So Bella is a junior, as Mr. Smith first said, and she recently earned first team All Colorado Springs Metro League honors in basketball. It's a well-deserved recognition of the impact she had on the court this season. Because of her performance, she also has been selected to compete in the Colorado Springs Metro League versus Southern Colorado League All-Star Game on March 20th at Pueblo East High School, where she'll represent Mitchell High School and the CSML against some of the top players in Southern Colorado. She's also a true multi-sport athlete in addition to basketball. Bella competes in volleyball and participates in track and field as a jumper, showing her commitment to athletics throughout the entire school year. Equally important, as Mr. Smith said, is her dedication in the classroom. Holding that 3.6 GPA demonstrates balance and discipline that we expect from our student athletes. She represents a type of student athlete we're proud to have at Mitchell High School, someone who excels competitively, contributes across multiple programs, continues to prioritize academics. She also represents something bigger than individual accomplishment. Since stepping into my role as the athletic director, one of my missions has been to ignite the M as a source of identity and honor at Mitchell High School, to celebrate our student athletes as role models and community leaders, and to rebuild traditions that unite our alumni, staff, families, and students. She embodies that vision through her work ethic, humility, and commitment to her teammates in school. She represents the pride and spirit that we want the M to stand for. We are just incredibly proud of her accomplishments and grateful for the example that she sets for our younger Marauders who are watching and learning what it means to represent Mitchell, with pride. We look forward to seeing her represent our school at the upcoming All-Star game. Coach, you want to add some?
Yeah, just to piggyback again, Bella has made strides in every category from her freshman year up until now with grades, behavior, play on the court. She's rubbing off on her teammates in a good way, and I think if they follow her lead, it could be a lot bigger scene in this school with what she's doing. The younger kids look up to her, freshmen, sophomores look up to her as a leader. I think she's a born leader. She was made to lead. She's classroom, she makes it look easy, with her grades. And it's transitions to the basketball court. I think not only she was first team in basketball, I believe she was first team in volleyball as well. So both sports and track. So hoping we can get that triple threat here at track season and get first team, in all three sports. But again, she embodies the leader that we want here at our school. We're very proud of her, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for Bella.
2 points. All right, Bella, tell us all about how awesome it is to be a Marauder.
Bring it home.
Okay. I don't really know what to say. Like, what do you mean?
Well, why'd you come to Mitchell?
Well, I came here, I went Swagger, and then I came here, my sister came here. She graduated last year. She didn't really play, well, she played sports for like 2 years, and then I started playing basketball. We got a new coach, which was him, he started when I started here. And then volleyball and basketball I wasn't very good at, like at all. Freshman year, it was hard, I was new. I created bonds with Coach Melvin, and then we had a new coach, Coach Nolan. He came in my sophomore year. And then we had a couple other coaches. They didn't really stay very long. And then volleyball, I love our new coach. She started this year. And in the classroom, I feel like it got a lot easier. We had to stay eligible, so that's low-key part of the reason, but it's still there, even though, it gets a little hard like during the middle of the year, but I got back up, so.
Awesome.
Right on.
Bella, talk about your accomplishments that are up on the board. How does that make you feel, and what do you aspire to do after? You still have another year with us, but what do you aspire to do after high school?
After high school, I want to go to college. Hopefully play a sport. If not, I just want to go for criminal law.
Okay. Awesome. Tell us about what's your best aspect on the court.
Rebounding.
Clearly.
Take pride in that.
Pastor Gibbs got a question.
That's good. Oh yeah, please.
And who's your favorite teacher and why?
Teacher? My favorite teacher that I have this year is Mr. Ramser. I didn't have him in the beginning of the year. We didn't have, our teacher left, Miss Grant. She left I think 2 months into school, and then we didn't have a teacher, we had substitutes. And then he took our class, and he's a really good teacher, even though he goes through a lot.
What class?
English.
Awesome.
Bella, what is your big takeaway from Mitchell? What have you gained from being in this community?
One, I gained respect because in the beginning of the year, I didn't really have very much respect, and I wasn't very respectful. That's what it is. And the teachers, the employees, what is that called? Staff. The staff here, they're respectable people. When you get to know them, they're good people.
Mm-hmm. What is your hope for future Mitchell students? What would you like to leave them if you could, or share with them?
To join sports. We don't have enough people joining, all sports.
So extracurricular activities you feel like have helped you grow as a person and a student.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, when's the next season start? And what position do you play on the next sport?
Track started.
Track,
Yeah.
okay.
What event are you doing?
Well,
events?
typically I only do high jump and one running, but coaches make me do.
Yeah, way to go, coach.
Coach Melvin's doing the job.
Way to go, coach.
I will add that, so Bella mentioned rebounding is her thing in basketball. For 2 solid straight years now, she has reached the 100-plus rebounds for 2 straight seasons. And she really hit the 100 this year real early on this season. So she was just racking up rebounds from there. But yeah, she loves the boards, and Coach Melvin keeps her there for a reason. So
She has
Any
She's
other
had-
questions for Coach, or go ahead, Ms.
Oh.
Blackwell?
And Bella forgot to mention that she has a job,
yes,
so she is doing all of this in.
2 jobs.
You want to talk about your job?
She's had the income coming in as well, and I've known Bella since the neighborhood. We lived in the same neighborhood, so before she even got to Mitchell High School, and just to see her grow from her middle school transitioning into high school, walking in her own light, because her sister was older than her. So she really made a name for herself in a way where, and her and I have had some breakthroughs. We've had some moments in the office where we were cracking up at something. She knows what I'm talking about. It was so hilarious this year. And then we also had a heart-to-heart moment where we talked about legacy and the importance of, your name and understanding that your name oftentimes has power. And what direction, what opportunities are you going to take, given that your name is plastered all over Colorado Springs? You can make it use your power in a good way, or you can take it in the opposite direction. And so I know we had a breakthrough moment there, and she's definitely going in a direction where she's understanding what legacy creation means, and she knows the heaviness of her last name, and she's going to make it mean something in the city of Colorado Springs, just by her being a good person and also a stellar athlete. So she's doing it. I'm gonna miss her.
That's a biggie.
You got one more year. You're good.
I'll just kind of close this out with this, because Bella was like, yeah, I got to get out. You got me first, right? So, but Mr. Short is demonstrating great leadership coming into the role in his first year, and then I just want to celebrate too Coach Melvin, who serves in our building as well and has shown consistency and that dedication to not only the job that he performs here in the building during the day, but what he does with our extracurriculars at night. This is the most I've actually heard him speak in 3 years, so that's impressive. And he's raised his hand because we needed a feel for our track coach, so we went to him and he said, yeah, I will cover this track season, so greatly appreciate that. And Bella, keep up the great work, and thanks for being here, everybody.
I was his preschool teacher.
Michael just said that. Just told me that before you shouted that out.
Melvin was hoping nobody would say that.
And a swagger student. I'm not graduated from Sierra, but I went to
There
Emerson.
you go. All right, thank you all.
I appreciate you.
Was there?
Let me get a picture.
Okay, get up here. Get a picture with our student. George.
Okay, let's do it.
So then we can
Put her right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
You're large and in charge.
Let's do it.
Sit that down.
We're standing up.
No sugary drinks, your coach.
No sugary drinks.
You're good. Very good right there.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, good job, guys.
All right, thank you, Bella. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Just let her time. All right, go practice your
Terry, do
homework.
we have anybody in the chat?
No.
Okay, nobody.
Where's time?
I thought I heard someone talking.
All right. Go ahead.
So I just want you all to know we have many Mitchell students here who are doing amazing things. On my agenda, I was going to recognize Amelia, I believe is her name, who went to the Pikes Peak Science Fair at UCCS. and-
Delilah Epps.
Delilah, and she placed, I don't remember which place, but she did place, she did a project on the quality of water. We have somewhere between 4 and 6 musical students who participated in the honor choir held on the western slope. And then we have a senior, Matthew Cole, who placed at the state level for PTA reflections. Those are just a handful of students that I'm aware of. We have theater students as we speak preparing for their opening night, their hard opening night for their spring play. So there are so many students that we could actually take a whole meeting and then some to recognize all the good things that students are doing around here. So I just wanted you to be aware of a few more. So we're going to continue on down here.
Yeah, and as you can see on the screen behind you, we did mention Delilah Epps. I do want to mention the 2026 Western Slope Honor Choir Festival students that Alyssa mentioned. Kylie Keller, that is a typo up there, I apologize to Kylie and her parents if they're watching, but that is Kylie Keller. She has an amazing voice. If you came to the homecoming football game, she did a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Autumn Goldizin, Alira Dorsey, Elisa Wimbley, and Landon Richard are those students. And then again, Matt Cole for the PTA reflection, our second place at high school photography. So shout out to those students. Okay.
He was in and out. I saw him
Yeah,
disappear.
he's
again.
working.
He's always running
He's
around.
working.
Can you explain a little bit about Matthew's role as an intern as well?
Work-based learning program in the district. Matthew Cole, Alyssa's son, he does production. The cameras that you see in the room right now are live streamed, so people that are tuning in on the internet or over the internet are watching this. He sets that up for us. He gets a paid internship through the district CTE offices at an hourly wage, and he has just taken to that. Anything technology, he is very capable, and matter of fact, I will say probably more capable than possibly all of us in this room right now. And he just does a phenomenal job. He supported the Ken Derby, which was yesterday, which was phenomenal. He set this room up. He has verified inventory for accounting purposes. Everything is within the scope of work for the work-based learning, and he just does a phenomenal job. He is a trailblazer for that programming, not necessarily for the technology in particular, though that's going to continue. But again, I'm going to refer back to the planetarium. It's just top of mind for me at this point. But we look to have a work-based learning opportunity for a intern planetarium curator moving forward to expand that programming within the district so that we can offer other opportunities and pathways for future marauders.
Yeah, so we made a bumper sticker at central office that says, in D11, we pay you to graduate. So Matthew is one of about 18 paid interns inside of the system right now that do real work about the pathway that they are interested in and pursuing in either both college or work. This is run through the state. It's a 2,000-hour program, so it usually runs around 18 months. Some of the kids will graduate and then stay as part-time employees with the district as they go on into their post-secondary opportunities. Matthew is the first intern that we have here at Mitchell, and what George said is we've now just opened up and we'll get an advertisement out for a student interested in helping to support the new planetarium that just opened, because a lot of the things that the planetarium can do, like a visit from elementary school, can be run by a student intern. Doesn't need a full-time employee to just kind of press play and make sure they're in there and ready to go. It's been a great program in District 11. I'm also proud to announce that we have our first external business partner to take on a fully paid internship. Remember, they're paying our students for that work, and that's the Switchbacks. And so we had an application process open for students to help work on the books at the Switchbacks. So this isn't our best soccer player is going to go run around in the field. These are children learning that the Switchbacks, yes, it's very entertaining, and yes, they won a championship, but it's a business. And how do you run a business? Because we have so many of our athletes, and maybe even Bella before us, who are so sure that they're going to become professional athletes, and most of them don't. But if they can find their way to use that athletic skill into a business model, then they can make an incredible career for themselves. And if you don't know, Brad Estes, the new owner or president of the Switchbacks, he's a football player. He's not a soccer player. So he translated those skills over into, I'm never going to play professional football, but now I manage a championship winning soccer team in Colorado Springs. So super excited for Matthew. Alyssa will never quite toot his horn as loud as we want to. But he, yeah, okay. But we're super proud of what Matthew does here at Mitchell, and just to explain a little bit about the paid apprenticeships.
Yes.
Thank you. So there's just a couple of, just a little bit of more old business, more good things happening here at Mitchell. Mr. Bibbs, would you share with everyone about the January SAC workshop that we hosted here on January 29th?
Right, which was very informative, very educating. Like I said, it was as far as I was concerned, it was very awesome. I learned a lot from it. I believe our kids are appreciative of it. And as far as many of you may know, I'm not much of a talker. I'm more of a doer. You see me out and doing things, but like as far as when I was there, I gathered a lot of information that I know that will help our community, will help our parents, will help our students. And I don't know if this is staying in line, but as I am talking, I would love to see more of us in those type of meetings, in more of those type of settings, because we could talk all day long, but if we don't talk and walk the talk, then it means nothing. And so, like I said, I'm an action person, and what I did see at that time, at that particular meeting was great, but I would love to see more people come around and that we get more involved, and it will help our schooling and help our enrollment, because if nothing else, we don't get better enrollment. As I might be getting ahead of
Steal my thunder, take it.
If we don't get better enrollment, we will have no school. And so we need to get out, and it takes work. It doesn't just take myself, it doesn't just take Principal Smith, but we as a collective item, as a community, have to get together, but more so the students and the parents of Colorado Springs or of Mitchell High School need to get out and be more informative about what's going on at Mitchell so that we can build our enrollment.
So most of you might know, but if not, and if there's someone online who doesn't know, the DAC, District Accountability Committee, hosts quarterly SAC workshops, which help those of us involved in the SAC at the building level be prepared for meetings like this, get familiar with agendas, know what's happening within the district, and things like that. So, Sharon, would you like to finish up the January workshop we hosted here and move on into the DAC report? And I believe there's a couple other DAC members here that may be able to chime in with you.
Thank you. The SAC workshop really was based around our budget, site-based budgeting, so we were all introduced to that. And our hope is that we will soon be seeing the numbers and the proposals of Mr. Smith and his ad team. So because the SAC's purpose is to give feedback to the principal and his ad team. So the DAC hosts a SAC workshop every quarter, as Alyssa said, and it is an opportunity for us as SAC members to learn how to navigate our business here better. Rebecca, would you like to add more?
At the last DAC meeting, we talked about the structure of how the DAC meetings are going, and we gave feedback. Some of the DAC members were able to give feedback, and we had a presenter that was trying to show how we can make the meetings more productive and effective. I made a comment, I made a feedback on the DAC meeting about being able to give feedback on when administrators from the district come and give a presentation of whatever topic they're giving a presentation of, that we just don't have enough time to ask questions after the presentation is done, because we're stressed for time and we have to go on to the next thing. So And then we were told, well, you can give feedback online. Well, that doesn't work for me because whenever we give feedback, we don't get feedback after we give the feedback. So that was my main concern, that we're not getting a response. And I'm not saying that the DAC is not giving that feedback, but somebody is not reading what we're giving back to them. So, but other than that, I mean, that was basically it on that. I didn't go to the MLO, I didn't go to any of the other committee meetings.
So I'll just finish it up by saying DAC is busy doing a variety of things, but back to Mitchell hosting the SAC workshop along with DAC in January. We did that with the intention of rotating throughout the district boundaries to encourage community involvement and to highlight different areas of the district in each building to kind of give a little shout out. So for example, Mitchell was the January one. So people got to come, see this space, meet some of our staff, meet Mr. Bibbs and myself, and whoever from all of you were here. And so that's why we hosted in January. So we did a rotation model this year that acted for that intention. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the old business. We'll move into new business, which we've already touched on a lot of. And I'm gonna skip the first one actually, because we've already mentioned so many other things, and I am gonna skip to another big thing that's happening at Mitchell. Well, First, I will recognize and just give the opportunity if anybody else wants to say anything about Monday night's opening of the planetarium, the ribbon cutting, the ceremony. Ms. Jordan, you're here. You want to speak to that real quick?
Ms. Jordan's not here.
Oh, we already established that. Dr. Malpacum, you're here, and you were at that opening, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, it was an exciting opportunity. I'll talk to the community from a board member's perspective. I think it was 2 or 3 years back when we approved the finances and the funding for that project, and then see it all come together that evening out there. And how this community is going to benefit, and not only it's this community, but all the surrounding schools and the students that are going to have an opportunity to come and visit the planetarium. So to the people in this room, please spread the word. We have a really great opportunity here for students to learn. And when you go in there, you are physically transformed into outer space out there. So you can not only learn scientific standards out there, math, science, and all those things, but it's just a magical experience being transformed out there. We look forward to maybe coming and hosting some scientific events out there. So this opportunity is there. The community can also come in and visit our school. So it was great to see that engagement. Several board members were present as well.
For example, the feeder schools of Mitchell
Yeah.
would be the community we'd reach out to first. Yeah. So congratulations to Mitchell on that ceremony and big moment and moving forward.
Wait a minute. Thank you. Sorry. I posted on a Facebook page for Marauders, and the feedback and delight about the reopening of the planetarium is amazing. And several past student curators chimed in about what a fabulous experience they had working in the planetarium, and they hope that that all of the events that will be hosted in the planetarium will be made public, so that people will know that it's not just a room in Mitchell for Mitchell students. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. So another big thing that Mitchell is about to launch off and has been working for a long time is the CLDE Parent Academy, which is Culture, Language, Diverse Education?
Culturally linguistic diverse education.
Yeah, all right. I was close.
We could make it harder. Give us a chance.
CLDE Parent Academy. So I don't guess Ms. Silva is here either, right? So I guess we're putting it on you now to talk about that for a minute.
I will talk about the resource night first that Beate Silva, our phenomenal CLDE teacher, department chair, led. She first started with the resource night for MLL students and families, and that was well attended. We would always love to have more, but resources from health services, utility support for those families that might be in need of that type of resource, transportation, and I do think Rebecca was here that night, and so it's amazing, and it breaks my heart when a student talks about a teacher that leaves midstream or even before midstream. This wasn't, and I say was because we're no longer fully staffed in CLDE. It's a very difficult department to staff. It's a hard to fill area, if you know anything about that. And so Beate Silva leading that charge this year with a full team coming in. We have had great results in terms of student learning, but also in community engagement, and it started with that resource night. But moving into the Parent Academy, that started this week, and so now Ms. Silva and her team are using Flex Days, which is a Mitchell High School innovation and opportunity that we have acted upon not only at the district level but at the school level to plan adult learning sessions and deliver those sessions while receiving pay in addition to her base compensation package. So very excited about that. That started this week. That will be ongoing, and we are delivering service to educate not only high school students but their families as well.
How many registered?
Good question. I can get that number next time if you'd like.
And how often will they meet?
To the best of my knowledge, it's going to be twice monthly, but I will get that information. Ms. Blackwell, please take a note of that. Enrollment for Parent Academy as well as frequency.
And is there a cost to families and/or are staff being paid for that?
Staff's being paid through Innovation Flex Day, we call it Flex Day, pay, no cost to families.
Excellent.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
is your community liaison involved in this project as well?
I believe one of them are, but I will have to find out exactly. We have 2 community liaisons dedicated to Mitchell High School, one who is specific to MLL, and then another who is more of a generalist, if you will. I do believe that our community liaison who is allocated to us through the district CLDE department is in cooperation with our project. Yes.
So how were families made aware then if it wasn't through the community liaison?
Websites, and our website is being updated. Actually, by your son is doing that as well.
Yes.
But really, at this point, it is direct communication from the classroom to the families of our students. So Beate and her team direct communication that way. Though I'm not sure Miss Pico is our dedicated community liaison. She may have had a part in that. I just don't know that at this point.
It'd be curious to know, based on our linguistic enrollment number and the number participating, that, the difference of those two. That'd be interesting.
Yes.
Okay, one more big exciting thing happening here around Mitchell before we jump back in, I promise, going to give you more opportunity to talk, but it's Mr. Schwartz's turn. You're still here, right?
Nope.
No.
He is not.
I think he said everything you wanted to.
Oh, but he was on the docket for this, so Mr. Blanc, I guess you're going to be up.
Okay.
You get to speak for Mr. Short. Yesterday was the Kinder Derby.
Yes.
And Mr. Short, per district prescription, like a trooper, took it on and did a fabulous job, I believe.
He did. What a wonderful event, the Kinder Derby. If you guys weren't able to see it, you have hundreds of kindergartners running around and having it in an organized fashion, and with their sending their cars down the ramps, and my favorite part of the whole thing is when they're coming in and they're kind of nervous. They're at this high school, they're seeing big kids, and they're kind of nervous, but when they come out and they're given high fives because they had the best time of their life, it was wonderful. I know this young man right here next to me, Mr. Matt Cole. He had a big part in organizing that Kinder Derby. And so I want to give you an opportunity to talk about the Kinder Derby and what you did at that for Mitchell High School and what you thought about that.
And Matt,
Kinder
not
Derby.
only that, but speak specifically to live stream and the data in terms of feedback and engagement you saw in real time with that.
Yes, sir. So the Kinder Derby was an event that was really meant a lot to me because I thought it was the epitome of showing our accept core values, specifically teamwork. We had student and volunteers and involvement from various different departments, GROTC, student council, cheer team, all those different people came together to make the event happen. And so because it was a significant event and we wanted to promote to the community that A, it was happening, and B, that this is part of our community engagement, we live streamed it using our MMTV digital broadcast class. Those students helped out with that because I was coordinating. And so we saw upwards of 150 live views throughout the duration of the event with an average watch time of over 30 minutes. And so, you know, a piece of that was we were trying to show different pieces of the event because it wasn't just racing cars. They got to engage with our mascot and take champion pictures. They got to work on their math skills in compliance with the math standards with our volunteers that helped them calculate how fast it took on the track. They were able to learn some cheers in the fan stands from our cheerleaders and cheer on their teammates. Another part of that was really cool to me was that we had multiple elementary schools engaging together. So that built a community there as well.
If you have,
Just for a little bit of background, District 11 runs a series of
Thanks,
programs
Matt.
called
You can go back
Peak
to work.
Experiences. A peak experience is a grade level opportunity for a student to demonstrate their learning without taking a test, right? The system is mired with assessments. These are state driven. You know, I don't want to have that conversation. We thought that it would be great to get our children engaged in different ways to express their learning, and at the same time find ways that kids can be connecting to parts of their city. So briefly, we're on a path to build at least one opportunity every grade level for a student over the course of their stay in District 11. We started last year with 5th grade Rocketeers. So every 5th grader built an Estes rocket and went and launched it down in Memorial Park. We partnered with the city, we partnered with the local Rocketeer Club. You can imagine old guys with all those wires and they're like 3, 2, 1, launch. I mean, they had a great time. Every elementary school bus to Memorial Park in 4 successive days. Children aren't just building a rocket. As you heard Matthew say, they're learning scientific skills. They have observation. They have to take data. How many seconds? If it's up that many seconds, how high do you estimate that it went? What's the amount of thrust that needed to be provided for them to be able to get there? So that was the one we did last year. This year we started the year with 8th graders in an art and humanities opportunity that was called Chalktober. So every 8th grader in teams of 4 came downtown and at Pioneer Square in Acacia Park. They got to own a sidewalk square and draw how they felt liberty was represented to them. So we bought everything of chalk up and down the Front Range. We had people driving up to Greeley to find more chalk to make sure that we could support our kids. And we were fortunate, it's unfortunate now it's been such a dry year. We were very happy on that first week in October that it was dry because our kids were able to do that. And then this year we went to kindergartners to a Pinewood Derby. Any Cub Scout parents? And so the kids are building their own Pinewood Derby. But we decided to, instead of just seeing parts of our city, we now have the kids seeing parts of their own feeders. So all the feeder elementary schools go to their core high school into the auditorium or gymnasium to then go, and if you had a chance to see it, it's literally like it's set up with checkered flags everywhere, and there are 3 different racetracks. And by design, the racetracks are different. One is made out of plastic, one is made out of metal, and one is made out of wood. And the high schools all made them. So now the students, they race their car on each track, and then they have to report back to their teacher, why did my car go faster on one track than another? And so in the 3 schools, we will finish this exercise tomorrow at Doherty. Please, anybody, even though you're the Mitchell SAC, if you can get there in the late morning, come see it live at Doherty. I've heard gravity twice and friction once. So if I'm hearing from kindergartners gravity and friction, we're doing just fine. Right, so we will continue to build these and we will try and make them more public, but super appreciative of the work that the high schools did to buy into how do you have kindergartners come into their space. And when I talk a little bit about enrollment, these are some of our longer term strategies. A child that enjoys a day at Mitchell will go home and say, Mommy, Daddy, I had a great day at Mitchell today. That sinks into a parent's brain. I love choice, but we're gonna die if we don't get active in choice. Okay.
So, Mr. Blanc, anything else about Kinder Derby?
No, but just what a wonderful way to see our kids and have our kids engaged and you know, I talked to every one of our kids that were involved and they had a blast. So, and if you haven't had a chance to see the production that Matthew and his team put on during that time as well, that's another learning opportunity that takes place because we're having that as well for our kids at Mitchell. That is a absolutely fantastic, organized with, it's like watching TNT, a basketball game, and you know, they show the behind the scenes. That's what it's like. So I mean, it's just a wonderful thing to see all the students engaged.
And that's what I can speak to is the collaboration from student to student yesterday and also staff to student and staff to staff. Mr. Schwartz was the admin over it as far as I know, but Mr. Lamphere is the Stuco sponsor as teacher. So the 2 of them work together, then all their different student groups working with both of them and each other. So it was a huge undertaking and they did a very nice job. Okay.
I just want to really quick before we move off of that, we do need to celebrate the fact that, one, we have a construction teacher back at Mitchell High School, and Mr. Schwartz, if you're watching or you watch this in the future, thank you, you're greatly appreciated. He led the construction of that wood. We had the wood track. So
the hardest one to build.
Yeah, but they all look great. So thank you, Mr. Schwartz, and our construction students.
Absolutely, it was a very integrative event. So, all right. The teacher and me is doing a check-in. We've talked about a lot. We still have a bit to go, but any comments or questions at this point before we get into the nitty-gritty? We've done all the fun, positive stuff. Now we're going to get down to real business. Okay. I hope no words doesn't mean you're asleep. So wake up. All right, here we go. So now to the serious part of our new business. So we're going to begin with the 5E survey. Mr. Smith, you get 1 minute to tell us the results of that, what percentage of your community participated, if you know, and what some of the results were, just general.
No, great, 1 minute, that's all, I have less than that much information. We don't have the results from the 25-26 5E survey, but what I can tell you is we met all thresholds for parent survey results, staff, and students, so we will be receiving all 3 surveys this year when they are released.
Okay, excellent. So, the next thing that is coming up that is a big part of the semester is the CMAS preparation. So I am wondering about staff care in preparation for the CMAS season. And Mr. Blanc and Mr. Smith, you both probably can speak to this, but so what are we doing to take care of our staff, which will trickle down to take care of our students? How are staff being prepped? Are they collaborating with the IE people? What, you know, any of that?
Care is ambiguous, but in terms of preparation, I can speak more to that. Our school has a designated school assessment coordinator who is one of the assistant principals of curriculum instruction. She's well versed in PSAT, SAT preparation that's ran through College Board. We actually ran our first training PD this Monday, coincidentally. We have right above 60% of our staff trained as proctors, and we are training staff all the way from ESP to licensed staff. Counselors are expected to support, custodians are expected to support, food and nutrition services, transportation will be coordinated, and we are prepared to run additional PDs on April 6th and April 13th in preparation. We will also be having, this is not all staff, but there's crossover. We are having a kickoff assembly on April 13th, all school assembly, where I have personally designed a accept ed, so our core values are accept. We added an ED to the back of that for ed. A student receiving a qualifying score that will correlate to a meet on the SPF will earn that hoodie as a result of their efforts and participation. Staff will also receive incentives. I'm going to be putting up close to $1,000 out of my own pocket to incentivize staff who can outdress the principal on that day to make it a special day, as well as attendance. So those teachers who show up and show out will be entered into a raffle, and they can have some of my money because that's how much I believe in our students, and I'm going to put my own skin in the game. And so we will be prepared, and we've already started to coordinate that, and I will incentivize performance from teachers and students to the best of our ability.
Is the testing scheduled? Do the students and teachers test all day?
It's 3 half days on the 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Okay. And
George, do you want to comment on the shift that you all made on how that backs up against interim testing as well?
Yes, this is the second year that we've bought a program referred to as Progress Learning. And so we realized a couple years ago now that our STAR benchmark testing, though it's a quality test, it's a diagnostic test and really speaks to closing learning gaps versus PSAT, SAT, and CMAS, which is an aptitudes test. And so we saw the gap in that data, and to avoid any missteps moving forward, we have purchased 2 years now Progress Learning. We've ran that assessment 2 times this year, once in the fall, once in the winter, in combination with STAR assessment. Test fatigue, test burnout is a consideration, but we needed to run both of those assessments. So the Progress Learning test that we bought 2 years in a row now is more aligned with PSAT, SAT, College Board assessment. We have also, in addition, Superintendent Gall and everyone who's attending tonight, we have implemented, you mentioned IE. IE has very little to do with our state testing, actually. But what we have done is incorporate our model of instruction strategies, research-supported pedagogy into the classroom, where teachers have, those teachers who have bought in and invested in the model of instruction are dedicating about 20 minutes of instruction every day to Tier 2 intervention specific to PSAT, SAT, CMAS style questions, so that they can get endurance and stamina, so that when they walk into the testing environment on April 14th, 15th, and 16th, there is no shock and awe. They're ready, they feel confident, they're ready to perform.
And Mitchell's the first high school in the system to take on that new program. We see there's a big disconnect in what we test kids on in 8th grade, and then you get to 9th grade, and although the state uses PSAT and SAT, that's not what most of the companies are building towards, and so there's a gap that comes from middle school to high school. And so George has led the innovation of let's shift some of that interim testing so we can get kids into this aptitude space. The SAT, for anybody who's taken it, is a whole different animal, and nothing about what the state builds towards in its mandatory assessment strategy has a child ready for the SAT. It probably has them better ready for the ACT, but the state performance model for schools is the SAT. And so I applaud George in kind of leading that shift that will probably make its way around the district, because we've seen better indications of where children are before you're waiting for results in August, which gives us the place to spend the money in the right spot.
so that could be academic staff care, because that's giving staff more immediate and direct feedback about where their students are at. So Mitchell does not have a PTA, so I'll just throw it out there to all of you as a SAC and their supporting body. I don't, correct me, do you have plans for staff? They have to stay the full day, it's a working day.
Yes.
You're not gonna provide them lunch or time off or anything like that. So, as their supporting body, SAC members, if Mr. Smith is acceptable to it, I would have you think about that. What can we do as a SAC to support the testing season here in this building? Can we bring care bags? Can we pay toward lunch? Can we, I don't know what we can do. Can we send them a note of encouragement? Hang in there, you're gonna get through this. It's only 3 days, whatever it is. As a supporting body, are you open to ideas, feedback?
I think that's a wonderful idea, and I gotta give kudos to Sharon, our secretary, I believe last year, it could have been the year before. Sharon helped get massage chairs actually in the building for a week or so, and staff could enjoy that on, I think it was around testing season.
Yeah, it was,
Teacher appreciation.
it was
Yeah.
teacher appreciation.
Which is the next big season coming up. Both are really important.
If I
So,
remember, she makes a good pie.
But
too.
yeah, absolutely.
okay. So I'll let you think about that. Give your ideas to Mr. Bibbs, myself, Mr. Smith, Mr. Bond. Mr. Smith has always said the door's open. So if you have a last minute thought and want to come by that day and you have something to offer, I think that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mr.
Melissa,
Bibbs had a-
question, this is
oh.
Cynthia.
Yes, and
Again, I'm going to approach your community liaison person. Could they go to the community businesses and ask for donations?
They do.
For meals? I think they do several times, right? Have you done that? Or
Yeah, both of our community liaisons work our community partners for weeks like that, so.
but is there a plan already for
There is
testing
no
season?
plan. We're not prepared to answer that question,
Oh.
Mrs. Webb.
Uh-huh.
Okay. As, across the district, some of our community partners are being, capitalized on, but I know that our community partners have good partnerships with some of the local businesses, and they are working on getting them into the building on specific celebration weeks or celebration days.
Great.
The testing day is not a solid one yet.
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. All right, great, yeah, great. Things like that, absolutely. Again, collaboration and integrating that bigger community with this community. So we're gonna move into some budget discussion alongside with a couple of events, and then we're gonna talk about the USIP. And Sharon has a question before we get to the USIP. So with budget and events, prom is right before testing, actually. It seems really early. It's on April 4th, right after spring break. And I personally am curious why that date.
Student council selected it,
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I approved it.
interesting. Okay. And we already talked about the planetarium, so I have here I have budget between prom and planetarium. I don't know why. So any updates or comments, questions about budget at this point, aside from related to the USIP?
So I have a question,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
How far are you into designing next year's budget?
We have the personnel side solidified and locked. That needed to get done, I believe it was last Friday, in preparation for the Saturday job fair, so we could be competitive in that market, if you will. So the personnel side is locked, and I will be locking the non-personnel side tomorrow.
When will you share with us?
When would you like?
Today, but it's not.
It's not locked.
George's budget is limited by the district's budget, so George has an expected allocation of the number of students, which then drives the number of staff, which drives the amount of money that we spend. So anything that George were to share before the governor drops the SFA, which stands for the School Finance Act, is completely preliminary. And what I want to make sure that George gets full protection on, the governor and the state have communicated very clearly that there is no new money in public education this year. Matter of fact, there might be less money in public education this year. There are a variety of very large things being considered at the Capitol right now. There's the specific occupancy tax, which is basically you register your car, that money goes locally into school budgets. Apparently somebody has said that that has been accounted inappropriately for the last 25 or 30 years. And this is not a District 11 thing or a Colorado Springs thing, it's a statewide thing. That's roughly a $6.5 million hit to our budget if that lawsuit were to go forward. The other thing is that also, if you haven't heard, that the state budget outside of public education is roughly $1 billion in the red. We are going to feel some part of that in public education. So if it doesn't come through this SOT issue, we have heard from some legislators. I was there just 2 weeks ago with several of our board members who were here speaking with some legislators in Denver. We're anticipating people bringing back up the BS factor, the budget stabilization factor, which again would be a hit of here's the money you get, now we're going to take some money back because we have to stabilize the state budget. And then the third, if you haven't read, there's a bill forwarded on taking Tabor and now reallocating Tabor into public education, which would be great for public education, but I'm not sure what the appetite is of the electorate to supporting Tabor. That seems like a very Colorado-specific, desirable thing to get taxes back from the money that they pay instead of it going to public education. But George has built a balanced budget for the forecasted number of kids that he has. And I would ask him to not share that until at least our Board of Education sees our PBDA, which is our projected budget build for the year. That, if anybody's interested, is happening in a works. Actually, it'll be an executive session on Wednesday next week, the 18th. So then we'll be bringing that to a work session after spring break. We are right on time. We're not behind. This is always a very late April push for us to push the overall budget. George has already communicated what he believes his staff size needs to be next year. So there's really no surprises other than it would be preliminary and premature for George to share a number with the SAC at this time.
Well, April 1st is the date, isn't it, for the board and or for the budget? Isn't that the date to lock it?
That's his lock to us. That's
Yeah.
still not us complete to say that that's the money that exists.
But
So
that's
it's,
when you're finishing your part, right?
I'm actually finishing my part tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
The board has already heard from the state one budget presentation. Dr. Malpack, when is the next one?
We get periodic updates about what's happening at the state in our board meetings. We have a lobbyist that
right.
presents to us updates on some of the bills that are there. And Superintendent Gall already talked about some of the bills that are impacting.
Yeah, when
us
will
as-
she come again?
She comes every board meeting. Oh, she's coming this Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay. So,
there's a question in the front.
sorry, I didn't see your hand.
Do we know already how many students are feeding in the Mitchell next year from the middle schools?
We have 207 that are expected to attend Mitchell next year.
In addition to enrollment?
I'm sorry?
In addition to your current enrollment?
No, that's included in his projection.
I just put up a slide. I was prepared to share this. Right now, again, today we're sitting at 589. We're anticipating graduating 136 seniors. But then we are anticipating, as a result of the 8th grade Discovery Day, which again, I will toot our own horn, that we were the first school in the district to do an 8th grade Discovery Day, which we were able to gain more 8th grade participation in one shot than we did in 4 years. We are anticipating, as a result, 207 8th graders coming, which would then bump our expected enrollment up to 660. And so, Mr. Mouchette, hopefully that answers your question.
And that's a higher number than what
Yes.
downtown
That's
gave
right.
you. Thank you.
And if that stays true, I hope I'm not jinxing us.
Knock some wood.
I know Mr. Gall would be happy about that, then we would ask the district to give us more money, and Brandon Comfort says, yeah, we will definitely reevaluate that. It would all be contingent upon what is decided at that point.
So it's not absolutely in stone?
No, none of this is,
Okay.
it is all projections at this
All right.
point.
Excellent. So we're going to move into Yusuf now. So first, where are we at as far as a Q4 focus and with what your intentions and priorities for your 25-26 UIP is? And what about thinking about 26-27 UIP?
Yeah, I mean, the Unified School Improvement Plan is all around improving the SPF specific to ELA and math outcomes. And so we kind of touched upon it, you know, state testing season, whether we like state testing or not, it's part of what we do. And, you know, really what we've done all year with our partnership with, and again, I have to say, it is a state mandated partnership that we were instructed to follow through on last spring with instructional empowerment. The need was there to partner with an external partner who are experts in delivering high quality instruction. We've been focused on that all year. We can see improvement with instruction in classrooms, specifically our core content areas, though we are seeing great gains with our MLL population as well because of the training that our teachers are receiving. Arguably, our teachers are receiving more intense and dedicated professional development than any other staff in the district, specific to pedagogy. That doesn't come without frustration or growing pains, but what we are seeing we're seeing growth out of our students specific to ELA and mathematics. Our pathways are becoming more clear. Distributive leadership amongst the adults are improving. We have the largest ILT that we've had since I became principal, and we have teacher leaders that represent every core content area at this point. 3 out of 4 of those teachers that sit on the ILT attended Building Expertise in Florida last year, which is put on by Instructional Empowerment. The district paid for a large group of district staff to go out there, and we probably represented the largest subgroup of that, the 11 staff that were out there. Those individuals came back and agreed to sit on the ILT, so now we have not only that vertical accountability, but we have that horizontal support. 2 of our embedded coaches that I actually dedicate through this school-based budget or student-based budget run PLCs now. So when we talk about distributive leadership and improving instruction in the classroom, that is coming from instructional coaches. Next year, we have 2 of our ILT members are already allocated. We received 1 FTE from Carol Fry's department to have embedded coaches, so they will be half-time teachers, half-time coaches. We will arguably have the largest site-based allocated ILT and coaching, instructional coaching staff in the district at this high school.
So which MIS of your UIP does that speak to?
MIS 1.
Okay.
MIS 1. And MIS 1 specifically, it all goes hand in hand. Anybody who's an educator, I know you are, in the room, it all goes hand in hand. We've really been focusing on data-driven instruction, going back to the Progress Learning Platform, the interim assessment that I spoke about earlier, also CFAs, Common Formative Assessments, that are directly correlated to the district adopted curriculum for science, ELA, math, and social studies, and all of those curriculum are being used, so students are being exposed to that grade level text. We know that students need to be pulled away from screens post-COVID and engage in more hard copy text, and so we are focusing on that as well. And if you look at the printing budget, which is the biggest portion of one of the biggest portions of our budget, teachers are putting that text in front of students. So We're seeing gains. Data-driven instruction is grounded in the research from Paul Brambrick Santoyo. And so there's so much that we're doing that I could speak to. If you would like details about specifics of the USIP, I would ask that the SAC dig in and ask for specific pieces of that. And I have more data than you could possibly imagine, and I can speak to that more specifically.
Do you have a quarter four focus that's going to speak to MIS 2 or 3?
MIS 2, Mr. Blanc's the man for MIS 2. That's around MTSS, multi-tier systems of support. And so I'll let him speak about that since he's in the room. But MIS 3 is specific to the future ready and future centers here at Mitchell High School. I just spoke with Michael Robinson. I like dropping names because it's positive. There's so much great talent going to work in our district. Michael Robinson was here at the Kinder Derby yesterday, and he oversees the future centers of all of the high schools. He said Mitchell High School, in terms of performance, you were standing right there, Charles, when he said this, so you know I'm not lying about this. He said out of all indicators for the future ready, future centers, Mitchell High School is either number 1 or number 2, but that's MIS 3. Brian, did you want to speak about MIS 2, MTSS?
Yeah, I can speak with MTSS. We're really,
So you gave us a presentation in January.
Yes.
So for quarter 4, what will be different for MTSS?
So I think what is going to be different for MTSS is we rolled out a, we got approved and rolled out our student referral forms for our teachers, for them to then refer students to the MTSS team, so that we can then look at specific interventions and have parent involvement with those particular students. So we're going to be focusing on that for quarter 4 so that next year it can roll right into the next school year, and we have a really solid process in how students can get those interventions, tier 2 and tier 3 interventions that they need for support. That's going to be the main focus of that.
Okay. I'm going to backtrack just a wee bit at this point in the USIP because Sharon had an important question.
Well, I have another question that is pertinent to the USIP, but.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you ask both questions. And Mr. Blanc helped me not forget your first question because even though you're asking it to Mr. Smith, Mr. Blanc is the person that triggered my memory.
So at the SAC training for this month, we learned how we are supposed to be involved with the USIP or UIP. Which do you prefer, UIP or USIP?
I can go either way.
Okay. What do you use
I
downtown?
We call it the USIP.
Thank you.
USIP is at the school level, UIP is at the
District level. The S and the D change for school and district. But go ahead.
Okay. So, Mr. Smith, when are you going to be starting your work on next year's USIP?
Yes, and so that happens in quarter 4. After state testing, after the spring benchmark assessment, we will ask SAC members, we will ask teacher leaders, we will ask community members, obviously administration, district leaders from different offices to all engage with us, and we've done this for the last 3 years. It's been very intentional and strategic. We will ask everybody to come together, look at multiple data sets, and then that's where we will collaboratively start to develop the USIP for 26-27.
So you'll ask everybody to come together on the same day?
Yes. I've actually done that in the last 2 years, but I've had very low engagement. Hopefully this year we'll have more.
Do you have any idea which date you're looking at?
Not yet, no. Not yet. It'll be quarter 4 though.
It'll be after testing.
Yeah.
We don't start the USIP builds until the schools complete their testing window to have the focus on the mandate of, it's not that the state has all kinds of rules about the tests, participation and on monitoring. And so to ask George to be focused on next year before he completes this year would get him a ding on his participation or invalidate some of the testing that the state has, which we have robust plans for.
Well, that's real interesting because our SAC meeting in April is April 9th. which is right before testing, the week before, according to the dates you gave us. But the district gathering, like the principal date for the next year's USIP is May 12th. But our May meeting, if we have one, which I assume we will be May 14th after you meet. So all the planning for the 26-27 USIP planning is happening that week. So it's going to be tricky for this SAC to give any feedback unless it's after the fact. So
Maybe. I wouldn't necessarily agree with all of that. The meetings and the planning sessions for the 26-27 USIP are outside of a regular SAC meeting.
correct.
Yeah, so depending on when those dates and those planning meetings happen, it might just be additional meetings on top of this that the SAC will be invited to and can provide feedback.
Do you have those dates, Sharon? The
No.
12th is the principals meeting.
I don't have those.
You don't. Okay. Cynthia and Rebecca, do you have those dates from last week? Or 2
Cynthia,
weeks ago?
Cynthia,
No, I
Okay.
don't have to.
Okay, well,
What I will say is, I'll put it on myself, I will make every effort to make sure people are informed and invited to those sessions when they occur, whether they are before the last SAC meeting or after.
so, Mr. Johnson, I didn't know you were in the room till just a little while ago, so now I'm gonna pick on you instead of Dr. Malbackham. But according to
gone.
board policy, Mr. Smith just said that the planning meetings are outside of SAC time, which is also outside of test time. But our SAC meeting is also outside of school hours and/or test time. So is it acceptable to the board or by board policy for the SAC to brainstorm, offer feedback, ask questions, whatever, discuss the 26-27 school USIP?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm still learning as I'm going, 3 months in, but, I mean, from what I know is with the SAC, I mean, they're part of the district as an advisory to kind of give us updates of what they're seeing in their local schools. I think it would be important that we take the information in consideration that what you guys are putting out there to heart, and that we really, dive in and ask the questions of what's actually working, with our math and our language arts testing scores. And I know we've talked about, the strain of state testing and how that has an effect on students. I mean, I've done it myself, being a former graduate of District 11. I understand the stress and timeliness of folks trying to cram in 4 semesters worth of data and information that they've learned throughout the year. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would say,
So-
it's important that we do take in that consideration.
I'd like to offer that if there's any observation here that we're trying to rig dates to not have SAC input, that's not true. So.
I don't think
if-
that's the
I
insinuation.
don't understand what the question is.
I think, well, not Rebecca, sorry.
Alyssa.
wrong. Alyssa, speak for yourself, sorry. That's not your insinuation, is it?
No, not at all. I actually want to clarify and know ahead of time where we meet, right, or when we do it. Because I've been a part of writing USIPs for a long time, and we all know it can't happen in 3 days. And as with the intention of wanting to come together and be supportive and offer collaboration and be a part of that, maybe Mr. Bibbs and myself and Mr. Smith, along with the board, can, figure out or really make sure we do our homework to know. Because I don't want to violate anything, but I want plenty of time to work together on it. And 3 days in May isn't going to do it. That doesn't give this body of people the adequate opportunity to offer feedback, input, whatever.
Leanne?
I was thinking, so there's a
Hi, Leanne. I didn't know you were here either.
I'm sitting right here next to Charles. And we also have Jill and Parth is re-entering the room. So that there's an April 9th SAC and there's a May 14th SAC.
Correct.
But in between is the principal's working, and the principal is constrained by the testing, but the SAC isn't necessarily constrained.
Correct. And also in May, that same week after the principals meeting, is the principal and his staff. So staff get an adequate opportunity and SAC gets an adequate opportunity. We just have to find when that is. So I'm asking, proposing that the April meeting, SAC meeting, in part be related to the 26-27 USIP.
I'm more than happy to accommodate.
Yeah, check it out. Okay. Any other 25-26 USIP? Sharon, what is your other question?
My other question is kind of old business.
It is.
Okay.
But it also relates to MIS 3, so it's okay.
Okay. So, Mr. Smith, I'm just circling back to ask, in the November meeting, we talked about, we heard from staff members who were confused about whether they had the freedom to pull the fire alarm when security is right there and not using their radios or pulling the fire alarm to indicate that there's a problem. So have you revisited the policies, your procedures here, and communicated them to staff and students so that everybody's clear that if there's an emergency situation, everybody or anybody can act?
Interesting, and coincidentally, on the 16th, Monday, is our next PD day, our last district PD day. The morning will be focused on instruction, acute instruction, and then the afternoon, Mr. Blanc will be leading a professional development specifically around learning environment and structure in education or outside of education terms. That does encompass crisis response and emergency drills. We are in compliance with our emergency drills. That is overseen by the security department at the district level. Mr. Blanc oversees that, and he stays up to date, and actually he's in front of that oftentimes. But I mention all of that to say that on the 16th, we see the need to not only revisit the conditions that have reestablished Mitchell as a place of, you heard what Bella said, our student earlier, a respectful place. And in terms of that, we do need to take care of one another. Mr. Blanc is going to be revisiting board policy around cellular devices, security mandates, security best practices, behavior matrices, all of the above. What I will promise tonight is we will make sure we touch on that at that time.
Thank you. And then update us in the next SAC meeting, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, so we haven't done that yet, okay. We will revisit the 26-27 USIP. Thank you for thinking ahead, everyone, Mitchell staff and SAC. Thank you for thinking ahead. Okay, we're almost finished. I want to respect everyone's time. I know it's already basically 6:30, so one more idea, we can table this till April, but I'm putting it out there again for you to chew on. I am personally thinking that it would be appropriate and perhaps beneficial for this SAC to have a student representative. Student representatives are welcomed to PTAs. They're welcomed to other adult bodies. And I would just propose that the SAC think about next year inviting a student representative to join the table. So we can talk about that later. It's just an idea. We're done and ready for Community Corner, and unless there's any other community comments or questions related at this time, is there general community comments, questions?
Mr. Machette.
I have one for Mr. Gall. When we were briefly talking about before the SAC meeting started, could you kind of put your emphasis on school choice?
Yeah, thank you.
That's what I wanted to hear about.
And then you can feed into your nutshell version of the bond because you are the Community Corner highlight tonight.
Well, great. Thank you. I wish Ms. Busby was still here. I wanted to thank her for asking me to come and join this SAC event. her and I, in a long time conversation that actually started with Pastor Bibbs about a year ago, we were finishing the year. We thought about, one, how do we re-engage the SAC in a way that is more reflective of the greatness of what actually happens at Mitchell every day. A highlight of that is our student or collective academic or athletic performances that we bring forward. I think Bella did a great job in showing you all that individually great things and collectively great things happen here. What Delia had asked me to do is, can you go to the second slide or of two? She asked me to come here and help, and I really appreciate the perspective she gave me of how is it that we bring the power of what you all bring into the space of school choice. You all are here, and I appreciate, we as a district, the board appreciates you all for the time that you give to George and to every one of our administrators and our teachers to make sure that we're delivering for your students. The gap that exists in how the collective of Colorado Springs thinks about Mitchell is likely too large for us to close alone on social media, ads, or good news stories. Councilmember Hengen was here. It appeared that she has left before I've had a chance to really get into this as well. And I do want to acknowledge that we have 4 other elected officials and board members here today. You saw on the previous slide that George had, the Board of Education has committed $18 million in the last 3 years into bringing Mitchell to a destination high school. And yet the community still continues to not pick Mitchell High School. I am very happy in hearing that more feeder families are interested. We've gone with a K-12 vertical. We think it's critical for kids. You heard through Kin Derby, getting kids access. We have a new track and field that people can play on. We have great visual and performing arts. These things are working within our community. But the bottom part of this slide says to you that 1,274 children that are living in the Mitchell boundary neighborhood choose to not come to Mitchell. 525 kids that live inside that boundary do choose to come. So we are losing 3 out of 4 of every child that lives inside the Mitchell community. What I would love, and what Delia and I want to, it could be another meeting, I want to hear from you, where are the spaces that we can be, that George can be, that the community liaison can be. I'll come to a Sunday and I will stand there. Lightning bolts will come through the windows when I stand at your lectern. Sorry, that's my little Catholic joke. But we want to be a part of communicating more broadly about the excellence that you heard about today. And what I really want to get, particularly for the SAC here, we are delivering on every promise we have made for Mitchell High School, and then some. I have received the nastiest of emails and the pointedest of podium speeches during board meetings, and every one of those things has happened and we've done it. So now I'm coming to you with mercy on the court. How do we get families within a half mile, within a mile? When George did his 8th grade shadow day, I said to the 8th graders that were there, don't tell me you live out of boundary. If you go home and tell your parent you want to go to Mitchell High School, I will have a bus pick you up and get you to come to Mitchell High School. Mitchell High School has to have priority of transportation. It has to have priority of choice. It can't be the place that nobody wants to go to. And I think you all know I'm an ideas guy. I am out of ideas. I think you all live in the community. Give me a list of places that George, me, you, anybody, to help us help this school.
Door to door.
Well, we can open it up for facilitate. That's my pitch. My corner is so many people, and you can see choice is real and choice is wonderful. I love that families can choose. But people are in a Mitchell feeder, and the closer they get to Mitchell, the faster they choose away. And our team is trying as hard as we can. I don't think it's me. I don't think it's the board. I think it's, to Sharon's point, some way that we connect with the community. And I know we do our United Way work, but all these things they seem to have a diminishing return right now. And so you all live here. And I have said it 1,000 times. 30 years ago, I drove as fast as I could down Academy Boulevard to get to the Citadel Mall. And shame on us as a city that the Citadel Mall is no longer the commercial intersection of our city. But I believe that if you get Mitchell High School, and people believe in Mitchell High School, then all the businesses come around. I said it the other day at City Council. It's not the neighborhood that defines the school, it's the school that defines the neighborhood. And so I want partnership with you and anybody that you know on how we can, and I'm not worried about 589 to 660 this year. At $18 million in the last 3 years, I know it's going to take a couple of years. So I'm not looking for a quick fix, but give us the direction of what you know because you live here, your children go here, or you went here. Help us help you, because I said it when I got here, I start every school year at Mitchell High School. As goes Mitchell High School, goes District 11. As goes Mitchell High School, goes District 11. There are people who say to me, why is Mitchell High School still open? And I say, because we're a 4 high school system. Come to Mitchell High School, see how great it is. But I need your help. So I'm going to pause there. And so you can either give me some ideas now, or because of your time, we can set up another meeting, or we can set up an online thing where you can throw ideas. I'll work with my team to probably set that up.
Real quick, what I'm seeing, got to get out there. The community has to get out there and talk to each other. They got to talk to each other. I'm at Coronado High School every day. Every day. It is like a traffic jam going up Fillmore Street. All those cars are going to Coronado. That student parking lot is filled with cars. And I know, because of my daughter's friends up there, I know 5 families up there that should have been here at Mitchell. And when I talk to the parents, they have the old reputation of Mitchell in their mind. They don't know about any of this going on right now. I know one family, they went to keep from coming to Mitchell to Doherty, then to Coronado. Bypass this school all around. So when I'm out there, a lot of times, I will wear Mitchell's sweatshirt. It had it on a lot of people. Did you graduate? No, I didn't graduate from Mitchell. I had 3 children there that came through there. Only reason my daughter is up there now because I brought a house up there. But I still support Mitchell. And I can say one thing about the education of Mitchell. My daughter that went here, I adopted 9 children, 9 of them. They all had some type of issue. My daughter that went here to Mitchell, we did have to put her in an RTC, but she did all her core courses here at Mitchell. She is graduating this year, the top science student in the state. She got that education in science from here at Mitchell High School. For me to go to a conference, and they tell she's not even taking science anymore. The top science student in the state as a transgender student. And she came out as a transgender student and got the support right here at Mitchell High School.
Oh, it's not mine to call.
Question? How many of the 1,200 students are military students from Peterson?
Not that significant. We have about an 8% military population that is connected to Peterson, maybe even a little bit less. We have a couple of Purple Star schools, so we run those percentages. Doherty, it was the only high school that has a number to qualify for it, and yet there was still an issue at the state that Doherty didn't qualify. And so we have Jenkins, McCullough, and I believe one other elementary school is just short of me right now.
I know many military, I talked to the military liaison at Peterson, and she's many military kids and parents are choosing not to come to Mitchell. Now, I need to know why. Why would they not want to?
Yeah, well, because we're not in the community telling people that Mitchell's a great place to come. I mean, when you're on the state watch, if you're the only high school in the district on the state watch list, and if you have to sit in front of the state board like George and I did to justify, remember, there's 5 options. One of them is closing. The other one is giving it to a charter. That's what the state thinks about high schools that are on the turnaround list. So we have to find a way that collectively we all band together. And I would love for these numbers to be wrong, and maybe I can make that 1274 985, but that still is 3 times the rate of how other families choose within our system. So I want to learn more from you on the gap. I promise you the numbers, and it's not this year. You saw George's number. I'm proud that you're on the way up. But a high school at 600 kids is not sustainable for a school district.
Have we asked the students who are choosing not to come here? Have we asked the parents? As far as I know, there's only 2 of us current Mitchell parents in the room. So are we asking the parents and the students choicing out in the Mitchell area? Sharon said door to door, so.
I'm sorry, not to cut in, and this is kind of funny, we're actually on this subject, because I actually was talking to Principal Smith about this. We are called a school accountability. And I hear a lot of, shifting on the principal or shifting on the board, but we're accountable. My idea, one of the ideas I think that would help is us going to the elementaries. And that's something I was gonna start this year, but my wife got sick, my mother-in-law, a lot of stuff, I had a lot of deaths in the family. And I'm talking about me on a personal level. To get Mitchell back on the map, go to the elementary schools, go to the junior high schools within the district, show yourself, talk to the principals, get the students to see who you are. Let them know the good things that are going on at Mitchell before they even, what they might hear or whatever. But if they don't see us in the community, and like I said, I think Superintendent Gall, that's another idea. I would love to try to get you at one of the state conventions or at our district to talk to our community. But we're held accountable. We can't blame it on the teachers and the we're held accountable. We're school accountability. So let's, me personally, I'm going to go to the schools, junior high, elementary, walk in, even talk to the principals. Then you said you see all the cars in Granada. Let's go in Granada. Let's, hey, what's your secret? What you doing? And try to collaborate and try to see what we can do to build the enrollment at Mitchell High School. But it takes work. Yes.
So we're gonna go back into December. When we had a toy drive at True Spirit Baptist Church, and I'm not gonna say that, Mitchell ain't the best, because I feel that that's not true. Because when we got ready to do that toy drive, the majority of those students and parents were coming from Mitchell High School. So when we put that flyer out and offered help, we had almost 200 and something people come to True Spirit to get free toys. Some of the toys, they may have not liked, but we ran out of hot dogs. We ran out of everything trying to feed these people. So I'm just saying, when we put that we are offered to help, that's where they start coming in from Mitchell. We had, like I said, 200 and something students and families. That was not even from True Spirit, because I was at the door doing tickets, and I recognized half of all the families that have came from Mitchell.
So our faith-based partners are working.
Right. So we are working together with that. So when we have things that we do include my pastors doing a cook-off, with food and everything like that, and we put it out. Once we put flyers out, and that's a way to reach the community too.
So the same thing happened in August when Mr. Bibbs and I represented the SAC at the backpack giveaway that Mitchell hosted. Thousands of people came through here, probably several Mitchell families. However, we also have the opposite happening, such as at the Kinder Derby yesterday, Twain, who is a direct feed building to this place, was not invited per district because of the boundaries, I guess. But so they're a feeder elementary, but because of the northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest sectioning of the district, they weren't invited. And
I want to, Twain participates in Kinderby. Twain falls in our definition as a school that we use in our central part of our city. Choice is real. I don't want anyone to ever think that a school was not invited to an event. We align Twain to a Palmer feeder. Some of these schools sit on boundaries. Boundaries are district decisions that have sat for some time, and the way we manage this through principal management, that Twain is managed in the central corridor.
That was her point.
which makes it sticky.
Right, but it came
makes
across as
sticky.
uninvited. I mean, these are
Okay.
public meetings. I want to
Okay.
make sure that the district, and I know this is your meeting, but the way the language is shared about the relationship with the principal and the administration is fairly confrontational. I have to tell you that I was invited here tonight by Ms. Busby to actually ask for partnership in an hour and a half long meeting, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that until the meeting was over at 18:30. So I'm not really sure why the SAC is worried that George isn't doing a great job. George has moved this school up almost off the list. He stabilized his staffing. We're actually coming to you and asking for help. And so I'm going to leave on that note and let you all digest how can the SAC help this principal re-engage with its community.
That question has been asked directly. I've asked that
No, I'm not
question
asking you to
directly.
ask the question. I'm asking you to answer the question because he doesn't live here. He
No,
spends
but he's
more
the
time of his
principal.
life here. He is the principal, but you all are the ones who are constantly berating the school or the administration for not supporting the community. And we need you to help us and tell us where to go and how to do it.
I
So,
have one last for this, and me and Mr. Smith had talked about this about a year ago. Mr. Blanc, I didn't talk to you. Our biggest event in the fall, homecoming. I will help you do it. Let's put a homecoming
Let's do it.
parade together
I
with
love that.
floats. Get the middle schools involved in that.
Great idea.
A parade. All we gotta do, it could go around here. Just get a parade. You have the bonfire. Do the parade on a Saturday.
So,
On a Saturday, bands, everything. Get the middle schools involved. That's what they did when I was in high school.
and that's what Coronado does, and they're very successful. And the students asked for a bonfire at this homecoming, and it was a big deal. And I will publicly stand corrected that Twain was invited to a Kinder Derby, but because they sit on a boundary, they got the choice of which high school they go to, but they don't have the choice of which Kinder Derby they go to. Do you see how that can be sticky and how it's like, if we're really gonna reach out to all of our community, that would be one tiny little step that may increase the visibility, is to offer it as a choice.
If I may, to, I said it at the planetarium ribbon cutting. It's bigger than a superintendent, it's bigger than a principal. And so what's interesting, and I couldn't agree with Superintendent Gall more, an hour and 30 minutes of meeting where we could be doing some proactive planning and strategizing over how to address interest and enrollment at Mitchell High School, which is clearly a good school. And that I put sweat equity, blood equity, and tear equity in. Every day my son's calling me. I'll call you back, son. He knows the meeting's supposed to be over. But I oftentimes, and I couldn't agree with Superintendent Gall, I feel attacked by my own SAC. I am the most transparent person because, not only because that's my character, but because I have to be. The world can look into Mitchell High School, and I am not mincing my words. The world can look into Mitchell High School and see transparency in data because that's what is expected and mandated by the state of Colorado because we have been under the microscope for longer than I've been principal. So instead of attacking the leadership should look back at themselves in terms of this SAC and pull together and stop, and we should be swimming in one direction, but we're a school of fish just swimming around in circles versus we could be a school of fish swimming in one direction. It's bigger than him. I haven't always seen eye to eye with Superintendent Gall, but he has delivered on every promise, and that's what I can say for him. And he's been side by side with me, and he's given me critical feedback, and he's done things, right? But I stand firm behind him because when somebody gives me their word and then puts that word forth with action, now I believe in you and I trust in you. Matter of fact, his vision, though maybe I haven't always agreed with it, it's actually working. But I had to buy into that, right? I've gotten more coaching as a principal. I'm a better principal today than I was in 2021, and I know that I'm also a better person. So it's bigger than him, it's bigger than me. Nobody outworks me in this building. Nobody. Now I have people that are contesting. Ms. Blackwell and Ms. Jordan right there. But, Mr. Wall. But nobody outworks me. But instead of like chewing at each other, when the SAC at Mitchell High School really wants to get to work, that's when we'll solve the problem, because now this is the time for that. All the principals should go knock on doors. I'll do that. All the principals should spend money this way. I'll do that.
And the question, I'll
finish real quick. My point, Sharon, thank you, is instead of telling the leadership what to do, raise your hand and do something for the leadership.
Amen.
So my question has been, what can we as the SAC help you with?
We can start allocating time during SAC meetings towards proactive versus reactive, less contentious conversation to more productive conversation would be my first answer.
And I'm going to make this request. We've had some suggestions made in the past. They're great suggestions, but we're not very good at putting a timeline in place. So we're doing a lot of things at the last minute. And now I'm not saying you're doing things at the last minute. We're doing a lot of things at the last minute.
Yes.
So if we can have ideas acted upon in a more timely manner, okay, we've got this thing projected out. So what are the pieces that need to be in place? And when do we need to get started on X, Y, and Z so that we can fulfill those things?
This is like airing dirty laundry of a family. First of all, and we're way over time, but I'm going to just say it. We're talking about the dysfunction of a SAC in a district and public setting right now, because this SAC only wants to meet once a month.
Ooh.
But the SAC outside of the principal can meet with one another and then bring actual plans, logistics, deadlines, timelines, roles, responsibilities, checklists, matrices of action. 9 meetings in the school year is not going to get it done. So the SAC, the co-chairs, the secretary, and the other members have to meet outside of these meetings, and then when we come to these meetings, we report what has been done, what's been successful, what's not been successful, what are barriers, what are new goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. That's what's not happening.
Are we allowed to meet more than once?
Absolutely.
Not in a public venue?
I don't think you're restricted to Robert's rules by any stretch of the imagination. You're not elected officials and you are active parents. I promise you, Steele moms are very active, as are Scott moms and Chipeta moms and Cordy moms and Coronado moms and dad. I'm going to try and wrap this up because I loved an idea that came to the table. The district will find the money and we'll figure out what that is, and I'll work with the board, but we will sponsor the first in a long time Mitchell Homecoming Parade. And I think if we could get a subcommittee of the SAC to get some energy around that, invite businesses to be participating. We can do a start and an end thing right here on our own campus and turn it into a kind of a picnic celebration, homecoming, bonfire, whatever you want. The district is all in, and that's what I try and say every time I meet with you all. And then yet, for some reason, every time I leave, there's these little things that happen that says, we don't believe in Mitchell. Let's do the parade, and I don't think the parade solves the problem, but I think it communicates to the community that the school makes the neighborhood, not the neighborhood makes the school. Wouldn't it be great for KOA and KRDO to be here and actually take pictures of the parade instead of a police tape? And because anytime something happens, they always say, across the street from Mitchell High School. Now, why don't they say the parade went all the way around Mitchell High School and block traffic on Galley, and maybe, heck, we'll get the police department to let us go across Academy Boulevard. God forbid we do that. I think that's a great idea, and I think there's more of them. And I know that we all get passionate, and it's very hard after an hour and a half. We all believe in Mitchell. Let's leave on the fact that we all believe in Mitchell. Everybody has a space to contribute to get more people to believe in Mitchell. That's the goal. And there's a decreasing demographic across all communities. We're not asking for 2,500 kids at Mitchell. George needs 800 kids in 2 years. He needs 1,000 kids as his stable space. 4 comprehensive high schools, roughly at least 1,000 kids, is sustainable forever. And then there's fair sharing of bond dollars, there's fair sharing of talent, people are competing in the same leagues, and you actually get Mitchell kids playing against Doherty or Coronado kids, and you bring back inter-district rivalry. What class are you right now for sports?
Oh, 4A.
Yeah,
4A.
right, you're the smallest.
Yeah.
Right.
And some sports 2A.
2A. So let's lean in together. I commit to finding the time and the dollars to support the parade. You, my friend, are now the committee chair for the parade committee. So thank you for that idea. And we can learn a lot from what Coronado does, because they do a great job.
I just want to say this one thing, and you asked the question about, was it about a couple of weeks or not, or maybe a year and a half ago or whatever, whenever the stuff was going on with the planetarium. And the SAC did come, and that's even long before I came chair, and we met, I opened up my home and we met at my house. And look what happened this week. We were talking about the planetarium. So things and accomplishment can happen if we push, and like as Mr. Smith said, we don't have to wait for him, but we can come and come together collectively, whether it's at my home, we can talk, we can do whatever, and come and then have something together and be on one accord when we come to these meetings.
So I suggest that the district ask Mitchell neighborhood parents and students, what do they know about Mitchell? Why are they choosing out of Mitchell? What would bring them to Mitchell? Our next SAC meeting is Thursday, April 9th. We will be talking about the 26-27 USIT plan. I know I held you over, but the good news is the play is just starting. You're right on time for the Mitchell play.
Girls soccer won 3-1. Go.
Hey, go Marauder!
I will get it right. At some point I will get it right.
You're going to be in Grand Marshal, by the way. Okay.